Hello pen friends and creative friends. This is my Penablers haul. I recently discovered this company not too long ago. They are a Canadian company and I was very thrilled to discover them from the Canadian Fountain Pen Enthusiasts Facebook community group. Henry, who is one of the owners, I believe, or the owner, has been wonderful to work with. I was pleasantly surprised to find a huge selection of inks, not just bottles, but also samples, and they are generous 4mm samples from it. My order also came with these delicious little Werther candies. Who doesn't love a good caramel Werthers? Well, those are just the hard ones. And then also came with a little crab paper clip, as well as a little sort of trinket that has a fountain pen motif and a little crab on it. And the crab is Krusty, who is the mascot or the logo for Penablers. Anyways, it's super cute. But yes, I was very thrilled to discover this company. The inks came well with no leaks. They were all packaged in 3 separate baggies. I think I ordered 22 separate inks, and you can bet that this made it into my planner. Okay, so let's swatch these out. We have 22. Let me confirm this. Yes, we have 22 ink samples to swatch today. So yeah, I am super thrilled to swatch these out with you. I'm going to put these in my swatch log. I'm just going to put these papers that I have, clean up the desk a little bit around here. Let me just put these back in here that I had swatched previously. This is the creams. And so what I normally do is I swatch them for new ink days. I usually swatch them onto just a plain piece of paper, which is a Tomo River paper. And then once I have them swatched out, then I go into my, what I call my ink compendium, which is an Excel spreadsheet or Google sheet. And I log all the inks in there. And then once I've logged them, then I go in here and I will go into my, this is my swatch inventory logbook, which sounds so crazy how many things I have. But then I'll go in here and I'll log it under the color family. I am still trying to decide what to do for tabs to split out the different color families in my swatch log. So if you have any ideas, let me know. I probably will have to create them myself and kind of tab them in. But just trying to figure out like what makes the most sense. But anyways, let's get to swatching these inks. Again, there are 22 ink samples. Penablers did a fantastic job packaging them. As you saw before, I also got some candies, because how would you not have candies to enjoy while you swatch? Again, these inks all came, while they're just in Ziploc bags, they not a leak in sight, which makes me super, super happy. Completely happy. I believe when I'm looking through here that one of the inks that I ordered, let me see. No, I did not order a double. Okay, so I had thought I actually ordered the Roar, I can never say this name, Roar and Klingner ink, which is the Alt Goldgrun as a sample, but I actually didn't because I have a bottle of it. So I'm like, oh, I don't want to double up, but excuse me, not a bad thing anyways, because even if I did have a double sample, ordered a sample when I have a bottle, I would just share that with a pen friend anyways, because I don't need that much ink of one ink. I mean, even a bottle, even a sample, if I'm just using it to paint, will last me quite a few paintings. So anyways, let's get to swatching and we'll take it from there. Okay, so we're going to swatch bag 1. What I have in here is just my platinum carbon that I'm just going to write new ink day from Penablers, and the date today is the 26th, I believe. Yes, it is. So I'm just going to stamp that usually just up here. And I totally blurred that, but that's fine. Perfection. There's no space for perfection here. All right, so the tools I'm using today, ignoring this guy because I'm just using that to write what I just said. I'm using my Dominant ink muddler. What I love about this is when I dip it in, I use the flat surface to kind of smooth and push the ink around, which doesn't leave like marks from the glass kind of rubbing into the paper, which I don't like with some of the other, like if I use a glass stir stick, which I also love, because this one's best for small vials, like a 2 ml vial. This one I find if I push too hard, it leaves lines in the swatch ink, which I don't prefer. So this is the tool, and then when I use to write the name of the ink, I use my Sailor Hokoro dip pen, which is in the stub nib. I love the stub nib because it allows me to write a bit larger, and it also captures the ink properties and shows off the properties when I use this nib. So okay, before I begin swatching, I just wanted to show off this little inkwell that my son made for me, my 11-year-old. I had mentioned that he wanted a little inkwell, or like a little thing to hold a vial of ink so I wouldn't spill it. And he made this little beehive for me, which is so cute. And he painted it and everything. And it's perfect for the 5 ml vials. I believe this is, yes, this is a 5 ml vial. And so I love it because it just sits there and it doesn't tip over, which is amazing. Anyways, I think it's so cute, and I love this sitting on my desk, and it's a little reminder of him when I don't have him on my weeks. As I'm swatching this, I will list the names of the inks into the description if you're interested in knowing what the inks are, because I did speed these up a little bit just so the video wasn't as long. And I will also say that this very high budget, you know, Frankenstein edit that I put together of the swatching, I did whittle this down from 37 minutes down to 11.5 minutes, so I'm pretty proud of myself. I do a lot of post filming audios, or like, I don't know, I do a lot of these like add-ins of the audios after the fact, because I share my basement with my kiddos, obviously. We live together. But their home abode, the little man cave, is downstairs, the same area as my studio. And so typically they're often playing games, or they're watching YouTube, or just being their normal little goofy selves. And when I say little, they're not little, they're 15 and 11, but they're being their normal goofy selves. And so I don't have the luxury of filming sort of in real time without kind of shushing them or having them go elsewhere and do something else, which I didn't really think is fair. So sometimes you get voiceovers of a recorded video, and sometimes you get in real time. And so I like to think of the in real time as sort of like the bougie, more luxurious videos, still Frankenstein, still high budget, quote unquote. But in either regard, I hope you don't mind that these are recorded after the fact. I think you still get to see sort of, you know, what's happening on screen, and yeah, I don't know what else to say there, but enjoy the swatching. And again, I will list the inks into the description, and do watch out for the second video, because I will have part 2, which is my thoughts on the ink swatching, and then comparing the inks that I swatched from Penablers to my ink inventory, which is the inks that I have in my stash, to see what's similar, what's not, and whether I have these colors already, because sometimes when you order ink samples, you don't quite remember what you have. And so you just order based on whim, or based on what you're typically what you lean towards. And then you end up having a ton of similar ink colors. So anyways, that's the funsies in part 2, and we'll see you there. Enjoy the rest of the swatch video.